Over the last 20 years, we've helped hundreds of companies grow, and one of the most common things we see from these businesses is they're leaving a lot of money on the table because they're not claiming all the expenses back they could be year on year. So if you want to find out about any of these expenses here, watch this video. Hi there everyone, I'm Neil Sinclair, MD of the LibAbun Business Services Agency. We specialise in helping small companies grow, automate and thrive. One of the services our agency supplies is an accounting and bookkeeping service. So we help our clients make sure they get the right amount of cash out of their business and they pay the minimum amount of tax they owe to the government. So let's just talk about some of these expenses you can claim. So the first one is accommodation and subsistence expenses. You can claim expenses for accommodation costs when you travel to a temporary workspace or location for business-related purposes, providing that expense is reasonable and not excessive. Okay, so HMRC will likely question any excessive claims for expensive hotels or apartments with more than one bedroom. The next one is advertising, marketing and PR expenses. Look, generating leads and advertising is an important part of running a successful business. This may be a one-off cost or an ongoing charge, and as long as the service is exclusively for your business, then the cost could be classed as an expense. Next expense is bad debts. To claim bad debts as a business expense, the value of the transaction needs to be included in your company's turnover, and you must be sure that the debts will not be recovered from your customer. Bank, credit card and financial charges. Look, many types of bank charges can be claimed as an allowable business expense, though they must be for accounts or cards in the name of the business. Okay, you can claim business costs for bank overdraft and credit card charges, the interest on business and bank loans, hire purchase interest, leasing payments, alternative finance payments, for example, Islamic finance. You cannot claim for repayments of personal loans, personal overdrafts or personal finance agreements. Okay, so they have to be in the company name. Business insurance is a taxable expense as well. So look, you can claim insurance policy costs as long as you can prove that the policy is taken up strictly for business purposes. Common types of business insurance include professional indemnity insurance, public liability insurance, employer's liability insurance, and business contents insurance. You can even claim things like key man insurance as well. So they're all viable expenses for you to claim back on the business. Please make sure you've got the right amount of insurance in your business, because it's a cost that's very expensive for you when you don't have it and you need it. Next one's business mileage expenses. Look, you can claim back mileage from HMRC if you use your personal vehicle for business trips and you've paid for the cost of fuel. Now, in saying that, this mileage allowance is also available for electric vehicles. So according to HMRC, these trips are defined as journeys you make wholly and exclusively for business purposes. These include trips taken to complete work, i.e. deliveries, trips taken between two workplaces for the same job, going from an employee's home to a client, and going to a temporary workplace. So all those are chargeable for mileage allowance. Now, your rates for your business mileage, you can claim for cars and vans, it's 45p a mile on the first 10,000 miles in any tax year, and then it's 25p a mile on each mile over 10,000 miles. For motorbikes, it's 24p a mile for the first 10,000 miles and any mileage after that as well. And then for bicycles, you can actually claim 20p per mile on a bicycle. Now, a quick tip on this. I don't know about you, but I hate doing my mileage admin for this stuff here and recording my mileage every day. And so what I use is a little app called TripCatcher, and you'll find a link on the video here about another video about how to use TripCatcher. What TripCatcher does is you turn it on when you're on your phone. It uses GPS to log your mileage. You turn it off when you've finished your trip. It will automatically log how many miles you've done for that trip, and it will send it automatically to your online accounting software, such as we use Xero. Okay, sends it to Xero, and it automatically gets put into your online account system and claims your mileage back. You don't have to do anything for it. So that's part of the service we provide as our accounting and bookkeeping service. It's a great way to log your mileage. Gone are the days where you need to keep those paper records and keep a log and submit one every month. It saves you literally hours of admin a year by simply doing those two things. Business travel expenses. In general, you can claim for travel related expenses as long as the trip is made wholly and exclusively for business purposes and isn't considered ordinary commuting. So according to HMRC, a commute is defined as a trip that you make between your home and a permanent workplace. You can claim for the following: costs associated with running a car or a vehicle, such as fuel expenses, parking fees, tolls, vehicle insurance, vehicle repairs and servicing. Transport fares for flights, as well as rides taken via train, bus, taxi and ferries. Meals and accommodation for overnight business trips as well. Okay, so that's some of the expenses you can claim. Childcare costs and expenses. HMRC does not allow childcare as a legitimate business expense. However, employees themselves, including limited company directors, can claim tax relief through their salary payments up to a certain amount each month with one of the following two approved schemes. First one's childcare voucher scheme and the next one's the tax-free childcare scheme. So let's just talk about those. Okay, the childcare voucher scheme, as of the 4th of October 2018, the childcare voucher scheme has been phased out by the government, so new applicants are no longer accepted. However, if you've set up for this scheme, and you can go on receiving and using the vouchers as long as the scheme continues to run. Okay, so those vouchers are there for you to use. Most people, though, will be on the tax-free childcare scheme. Now, parents can now apply for the tax-free childcare scheme. This initiative was rolled out in 2017 and was designed to replace employer-related child care gradually. Okay, under the scheme, the government will contribute 20p for every 80p you pay, up to a threshold of £2,000. Okay, so this means that you'll receive £2,000 per year for each child for childcare costs of up to £10,000. Next expense is Christmas party and staff cost. Okay, so look, your company can host an annual event, most commonly a Christmas party, as a tax-free benefit, providing you meet certain conditions. Okay, so your employees may invite a partner, but you must not exceed an expenditure of £150 per head, including VAT, per partner. So that the event must cater mostly for staff, and as an example, expenses for one director and a +1 could be accepted and would give you a budget of £300 for that couple. Okay, that's including VAT. Note that £150 amount is an annual limit and can cover multiple events for staff. So if you end up with, say, 3 events, each one with £50 per event, that is okay. Okay, so you can still do that for staff events or the annual Christmas party. Costs of forming your company. Look, any costs that you incur for setting up your company can be claimed as allowable expenses. Okay, these costs can range from fees for professional services to printing costs to equipment purchases and software expenses, etc. So any cost at all, you can claim those back for forming your company. Donations to charities, etc. While donations aren't considered allowable business expenses, they are deductible against your corporation tax bill. Okay, so this applies when you gift the following to a charity: any money. Okay, if you're gifting equipment or trading stock, items that your business makes or sells. Okay, land, property or shares in another company. This does not include shares in your own company. They don't qualify. If you're allowing any employees on secondment, then that is also regarded as a corporation tax bill write-off, and also sponsorship payments as well. So any of those also are taxable write-offs as well. Entertainment expenses. Look, with certain limited exceptions, expenditure on business entertainment or gifts is allowable as an expense, but is not allowable as a deduction against profits, even if it is a genuine expense of your trade or your business. Tax relief is therefore not available on the corporation tax, but you can still claim it as an expense to the business. Any entertainment expenses paid to employees must be declared on a P11D annual return. Okay, so we need to keep a register for that. Equipment expenses. The cost of anything that's necessary and essential for your duties as a director will receive tax relief. Okay, this covers computer equipment, printers and software, etc. You may also claim reasonable relief towards the cost of equipping or furnishing an office, e.g. chairs, bookcases and so on. This may appear to be a dual purpose, but it's allowed because it is a consequence of a business need. Okay, as long as the personal use is insignificant, it will not be treated as a benefit in kind, and you won't have to pay personal tax on it or declare it in a P11D. Eye tests and spectacles and contact lenses. Look, you can claim your vision test providing it's necessary for the initial or continued use of visual display equipment in your duties. However, you aren't able to claim for glasses or contact lenses unless they're prescribed during your time at work, specifically for monitor or screen work. And if you're still using them after hours and there's that dual purpose when you use them in your private life as well, you won't be able to claim on them. But if you're only using them for work purposes, then you will be able to claim on them. Fixed assets and fixed assets disposal. As long as they're entirely purchased for business use, items such as laptops, PCs, business phones, and furniture can be recorded as a business fixed asset. These are items that you're using for longer than 12 months. If the asset is obsolete or no longer used by your business, you may decide to dispose of it or sell it. Either way, you need a record of this for depreciation purposes and changes to your asset register for your end-of-year accounts. General office costs. Minor purchases with receipts that are used wholly, exclusively, and necessarily in the performance of your duties are claimable. This includes such costs as postage, computer consumables, office stationery, etc. Okay, so there's quite a few of these. Now here at LibAbun, we put all our customers on Receipt Bank. This is an app that goes on your smartphone and allows you to take photos. And again, there's a separate video about Receipt Bank in our YouTube channel, so please go and find out about that. Saves you literally hours of invoices. You do not have to keep your receipts. Once you've taken a photo of these and send it via Receipt Bank to your online accounting software, so again, we use Xero to do that. You can throw your receipts away because it's recorded electronically online in the cloud, and there is no more paper trail to be kept because HMRC accept the copy of the invoices via Receipt Bank in your Xero account. Gifts and trivial benefits. You don't have to pay tax on a gift or benefit for your employees if all of the following apply. It costs you £50 or less to provide. It isn't cash or a cash voucher. It isn't a reward for their work or performance. It isn't in the term of their contract. This is known as a trivial benefit. Now, you don't need to pay tax or national insurance or let HMRC know about this. You have to pay tax on any gifts or benefits that don't meet these criteria. This is an area that's really overlooked quite a lot by a lot of business owners. So your gifts and trivial benefits, especially for your team members, look, they can't be a reward for having a great month or achieving a specific goal or some sort of performance. It's just because you're a good all-round person and you're a great boss, and you just do this out of the blue. And it might be sending someone flowers. It might be, as an example, someone, if someone's had a baby or there's been, a special occasion in someone's life. All these sort of things can be used for that. You might, if you've got clients as an example that might like playing computer games, you might want to send them a computer game, or you might send them a corporate gift to say thank you for, for just being nice, or maybe for referring some business to you. So this is where you can use these, and it's a tax deductible expense for you. Medical insurance and healthcare. Your company may provide financial support towards medical insurance for employees. This is regarded as a benefit in kind, and the employee must pay personal tax on it. Okay, so your company will be liable for national insurance contributions at 13.8% for the 2021 and 2019 and 20 tax years. Okay, so your company can provide the following and claim tax relief: medical insurance for an employee working abroad, or annual checkups. Okay, so any of those you can claim medical insurance and healthcare expenses for them. Now, phone and internet expenses. Let's talk about these. If your landline phone or broadband contract is only for business use, this is an allowable company expense and you won't be taxed personally. By having a separate phone and internet line for only business, it shows this is 100% for business. For mobile phones, provided the contract is between the company and the mobile phone provider, the company can claim all costs as an allowable expense. Claiming back expenses for business calls from a personal mobile needs to be logged and listed to be claimed back. Okay, so this is quite an onerous task for you to do. So we totally encourage you to get your phones and your company name, and therefore you can claim that back as an allowable expense. Pension payments. Look, once your company has set up a contract with a pension provider, it can make payments into your pension and receive 100% tax relief as an allowable business expense. In 2020 and 2021 and 29 and 20 tax years, there's a limit of $40,000 on how much you can contribute free of a tax to a pension scheme, either through your company or personally. Now, this will also depends on your what level of tax you are actually on, but you can do up to £40,000 per annum. Professional fees. The costs incurred for engaging professional services such as hiring an accountant, lawyer or architect can be claimed as an allowable expense as long as those services are carried out solely for business purposes. Now, you can't claim your accountant's expenses for a self-assessment, but you can for every other type of tax return. Professional subscriptions. Professional subscriptions such as memberships of a trade body or registrations needed in order to enable you to trade are allowable provided they are HMRC approved professional bodies which are relevant to your employment. If it is not directly relevant, then it's not allowed. Memberships of your local golf club is not going to be allowed, no matter how much you think it may help your business. Now, in saying that, you may be able to get a membership as a golf club as a marketing cost if you're sponsoring a hole or you're sponsoring the golf club in some way, shape or form, and you happen to have some green fees covered under that there as well. There are ways around that aspect if you're that way inclined with your golf or other sporting events. Training expenses. You can claim for training courses that are aimed at improving the skills you apply in your work. Additionally, you can claim travel and accommodation whilst attending any training courses. HMRC often disallow expenses for courses such as MBAs, as they offer new skills and knowledge rather than building on existing skills. Now, in certain circumstances, they are allowed, but only if you demonstrate that they are reinforcing or improving your existing knowledge or skills in your trade or profession. Use of home as an office. Working through a limited company means if you work from home, from April 2020, HMRC allows you to claim £6 each week without keeping any detailed records. This equates to £312 per year. This increased from £4 a week or £208 per year in the previous tax year. The other good news is that HMRC doesn't believe this to be a benefit in kind, which means you won't have to take any tax to pay on this through your self-assessment if this happens. Now, doing this versus charging yourself rent if you're working from home, please, we encourage you, don't charge yourself rent because it's a form of income. It is a rental income, and you are opening up your home when you sell it to pay capital gains tax. Okay, so we strongly recommend you don't pay yourself a rent if you're working from home. You do this minimum charge here, and there's other expenses you can claim back through other forms of expenses covered off in this video as well. Workwear expenses. Generally, any clothing you also wear outside of work cannot be claimed as expenses, such as suits or just general clothing. However, branded workwear such as this shirt here and uniforms such as nurses, plus any safety clothing for work are deemed as legitimate expenses for the business and therefore are claimable under HMRC rules. So please, we encourage you, if you want to have workwear expense, if you've got a general office thing, make sure you've got branded shirts, etc. for your office and your team. Then those are genuine expenses you can claim back through tax. Now, if you have any clarification questions about any of those expenses we've covered or anything other expenses that we haven't covered that you can think of, then feel free to reach out to us at LibAbun Accountancy. Either contact us through our website or contact us through our YouTube channel, make a comment on the video here, do whatever way you need to get hold of us. Now, if you want more business growth tips and ways of how to grow your business or take more cash out of your business, then subscribe to our channel by clicking on the icon in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Also, click on the bell to make sure you get notified whenever we release the next video. We release videos weekly on an array of business growth and business development topics.